So I've been struggling with this video. I'm going to try one more time. Alright, so there are a few pointers I wanted to just put out there. Antichrist Francis is finally showing true colors. Well, he's been showing true colors from the get-go. He came out swinging. But Antichrist Francis is getting really bad now, where he signed a treaty with Palestine. So Palestine's still Israel. That whole entire nation, that's Israel. And Francis has signed a treaty. Last week, Wednesday, they signed a treaty. Um, it's getting bad. Antichrist Francis calls Abbas, the man who suggested to him to develop the UN, a version of the UN for religion. So the UN of religion, so where you have all these different faiths come together when they have their arguments or their disagreements. So they have like the UN version for religions, all sorts of ungodly foolishness. Um, and of course, Francis wants to be the head of that. So for them, it sounds like a very it seems very advantageous for him. Um, so, and more importantly, you have Antichrist Francis supporting the state, the separation of um, Israel into two states, and Ezekiel 37-22 says the complete opposite of that, and it says it will remain one nation. It will remain one nation. So Antichrist Francis is going against the Bible once again, as he has time and time again. So it's also the stage is being set, and then you see how America is going to have its hand in this setting of the stage. June, Antichrist Francis. Well, he's coming in September, October, September, whenever he's coming. But before he gets here, you have to set the stage. So you have the Supreme Court. They're going to support the gay marriage and make it law of the land. So when you have that, you already have Presbyterian Church already change their constitution to marriage being between two people who love each other or something to that effect. So once you have the whole entire America and then you have all of Europe all supporting something, it only makes sense for the churches. If you have the whole world already supporting something, if you want people to continue to go to your church, you're going to change your definitions of that teaching. And I have already told people that this is the mark of the beast. This is the divider for many, for people out there. It's to not acknowledge that this union is acceptable in God's eyes. It's just the worst thing that you can possibly do, because this is at the end. This is the end. This is it. There's no more after this. Well, there is more, but not as with life as we see it. It's not going to be the same. It's going to be a completely transformed situation from here in the next few years. It's not going to be. I don't even know when. I'm not giving dates or times, but it's just not good. You know, we're in a situation where we are where we're in such a deep deception that we don't even know who to trust. And that's why it's so important to have God's Holy Spirit living in you, because it brings you, it shows you, it leads you to places so that you can fix and correct and see your truth and see where you're lacking, see where your problems are, fix those problems, and then get yourself ready, because He's on His way. Jesus Christ is on His way. And He says no spots, no wrinkles, and He really does mean that. You're not going to be walking around being sinner and being sinful, better yet, because we all are sinners. Yeah, and living a sinful life day in and day out, and thinking that somehow, oh, now he's on his way, so let me pray today, and everything's gonna be okay. That's just not how it works. You're playing games with yourself, because if he knows your mindset is just so ungodly, before you know it, you're gonna be left behind. You're gonna be in the bad group, and you don't want to be there, because no one knows how much like, you hear all these different stories of the type of punishment some will receive, but at the end of the day, it's there's so much room for interpretation. Everyone wants to interpret things for what they are, but the fact of the matter is, there nothing's worse than being separated from Jesus Christ. Point blank period. Nothing's worse than him telling you no, he doesn't want you, like, or something, anything to that effect. I just don't. And I think the only way for you to really understand what I mean when I say that, you actually have to have a relationship with him and see how much he does for you, and then to think that he could just leave you high and dry by yourself to try to figure out this thing we call life. It's a scary situation. It's a very scary situation, because at the end of the day, that means you're going to be devoured, because you can't overcome the evil that exists if he's without his power, because it's in his name, Jesus Christ, is the power is there. He has all power and authority. He makes that very clear. So I just hope that everybody gets ready and get themselves together, because Francis is like, he's showing his colors finally, and you can go and see that he's doing these things. So there's no room to be like, he's not doing anything that someone else didn't do before. No, he is going against Jesus Christ. He's not going against man. He's going against Christ. He's perversing, and he's turning things and making things all sorts of crazy. And it's going to come at a price, a deadly price for many. Physical, you have to choose. You make your decision. Physical desires or spiritual blessings. Jesus Christ's followers choose spiritual blessings. It's very easy to have money. It's all very easy to have all these things of this world. But trust and believe, when you get all those things, only when you get those things do you realize, oh wow, something's still lacking. Something is still missing. And that's why you have celebrities, people who have it all. Well, at least from the perspective of, oh, you're physically attractive, and then you're also wealthy. You'll think that these people will be happy. They still commit suicide. They're still crying. They're still miserable. But they don't tell you that. But that's their truth. Many of them, depressed. They all have to do drugs to fight the depression, to fight the demons that are involved in their space, the sacrifices they have to make in order to stay the way they stay. Everybody has issues. That's the point I'm making here. And don't be fooled by the delusion. Don't be fooled by the deception. And this Ponzi scheme that is going on with Francis, he's only fooling those who are not of God. Because if you're a true follower of Jesus Christ, you would stay true to his definition. You'll stay true to his word. If he says one nation, you better support one nation. If he says marriage between one man, one woman, you better support one man, one woman. And that's true love. So anyone coming, abusing, killing, chopping my head off, or doing or wanting to harm me, but they say they love Jesus, because I say that I want to stay true to his true definition, then these people are the ones that have the problem. They are going to tell you that you have the problem because you're a bigot and so on and so forth. But at the end of the day, that's not true. because if you truly love God, you're going to follow his definition. And he says that very clearly. His followers are the ones who love and obey him. And I hold that to be true. And it makes perfect sense. That's his sheep. I'm a part of that sheep. I may fall, I may stumble, but trust and believe I'm not going to try to change his definition. I'm not going to try to change anything that is of God. Not to suit my own selfish desires, not to suit my own feelings or whatever issues I may have. Absolutely not. And you have to have that same mindset mentality. God bless. Take care.